I'm going to share some of the things that I learned as I was painting this, but I had to trust in the process. And I think that sometimes as painters, as artists, we reach a point where we feel a bit overwhelmed by what we're doing. We might feel a bit overwhelmed in the process, and we can't give up. We can't lose sight either. So I think it helps when we do have a process or we do have a vision of where we're going in order to keep us moving forward and not get discouraged or disappointed. So a few things also were the brush strokes. In the water, I'm using a real linear brush stroke. Although I'm creating some variation and patterns, overall I'm trying to keep a horizontal, linear kind of brush stroke. But in the sky, I needed to have a different kind of brush stroke. So I started by creating blocky shapes, but ultimately I don't want to end up with a mosaic. So this was just to start. Eventually, I will add a variation of geometric shapes. What I want to avoid is that kind of glass-stained feeling that you see sometimes in windows. I want to make it my own. This is important because the sky and the water both are using similar colors, similar hues and similar values, but I don't want the brush strokes to be the same. It definitely has to look like water. The next thing I realized is that I have a technique that I like, which is to start with a brush that has a lot of paint and then keep using it until it basically goes dry, and then rub that dry brush onto the canvas to create more texture and a different brush stroke. So I like to use wet and dry. Mainly I did this in the sky to create the atmospheric feeling. There's light shining. There's light bouncing everywhere. Sometimes it looks blue, sometimes it looks white, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's pink. So I like to add a lot of different hues overlapping, a lot of different values overlapping. And I also want to make sure that I have some different textures. I left the pillars along the side that make up the walking path and the edge of the canal for last because it requires a lot more detail. I really like the fact that it's kind of green, but not quite green in the reflection. It's kind of a mirror image, but then not really because of the waves in the water. So there's kind of this distortion. All right, well, that's going to be it for today. Next time, I'm going to get into the sun. I'm going to develop the sky much more, and then I'm going to start to give more character to my trees.